there to draw water in the first place. And she noticed this, but still, the purpose of his presence was elusive. He knew full well that it was not the right and proper thing to be engaging in conversation with her. And she knew the rules too. But something tells her to play it out a while, until he asks her to fetch her husband, and she second guesses her own judgment, wondering if she ought to have walked away when she first laid eyes on him. He knew from the fact that she was coming to draw water in the heat of the day that she had a story to hide. What's unclear is what he intended in putting her social mores at the front of the conversation. Did he mean to embarrass her? Did he intend to give her a warning to get her life together? Were the social norms of his day so embedded in his heart and mind that he forgot for a moment that he was there actually to reveal a way of love and not judgment? And did her bold defiance, her courage to stand firm, her willingness to not allow him to make her life an example of what not to do, did this woman herself cause Jesus to have a change of heart? I wonder.
But oddly, the stranger didn't seem to notice the change of my tone. Instead, he commended my bluntness. "You have told the truth, saying, 'I have no husband, for you have had 5, and the man you are with now is not your husband.'" I still couldn't work out his motives. He commented on my lifestyle without actually condemning me. I was curious, but still suspicious. But he didn't take the matter of my husband any further. He was only interested in getting my attention. I don't know how he knew my comings or goings, but I knew a prophet when I saw one. I stood there in the afternoon heat, looking at the scraggly bearded man and wondering what I should do. Should I leave? Should I try changing the subject again? Should I risk sharing more? What did he know about my life? Well, the truth is, the man I have is more my husband than the other 5, more than Benjamin, who gave me the disease that left me barren, more than James, who would beat me when I burned the food. I've been married many times, but the one I'm with now is the only one I ever loved, and he's the one this stranger claimed was not my husband. Well, let me tell you something. He would have been my husband if he hadn't got enchanted by some stories of this prophet promising eternal life and run off. And I loved him enough to wait until he came to his senses. I decided to take control of the conversation. "Sir, I perceive you are a prophet." Appeal to a man's ego and he won't notice you've changed the subject. I put my water jug down, leaned against the wall, and proceeded. "Our ancestors worshipped on this mountain, but you Jews claim the appropriate place to worship is Jerusalem." He didn't let me finish. "Woman, believe me, the time is coming and is now." I didn't mind the interruption. It was as though he was finally looking at me, but in a different sort of way. He began to talk with me earnestly, patiently, about things no man had ever spoken to me about. He spoke to my soul. But first, he took seriously my mind. He said to me, "God is spirit, and whoever worships God must worship in spirit and in truth." He didn't presume that being a Samaritan and a woman, my mind couldn't grasp such weighty matters. And so I said to him, I know the Messiah is coming. And when he does come, he will explain everything. Do you know what he said next? I who speak to you am he. What? He said the words so matter-of-factly, I almost missed them. My jaw dropped open. Could this man be the one?
Yeah, this is the moment in the story when she realizes that this one she's been talking to is the Messiah, which is interesting because earlier we saw how he was as human as could be, with his near judgment of her past and his subtle but significant change in heart. Here we see both Jesus the human, who can have a change of mind, and Christ the Messiah, who reveals a way of utter love. It's complicated. John's gospel in particular keeps us coming back to these questions of who is this one we name Jesus, and introducing us to people like this woman many others in this gospel don't recognize, but she does. And there's a lot for us to chew on here about the identity of Jesus. Important stuff, but I can't help being drawn back continually to her story. Just watch. Before this story is over, she'll be running back to town as fast as she can. She's going to tell everyone that she's met the Messiah. She'll tell them that she knows this because he told me everything I've done before. As though that's a good thing. I, for one, wouldn't enjoy someone telling me everything I've done before. Yeah, it would take some time, and there's some stories I don't want brought back up. So why does Jesus telling her everything she's done lead her to believing that he's the Messiah? I think there's more to it than, wow, Jesus is a great psychic, soothsayer, fortune teller guy. I think it's more than the fact that he told her what she'd done. I think it has to do with the way in which he told her, without implying that what she'd done defines who she is. Perhaps standing there in the stark and unforgiving light of the day, she came carrying more than a water jug. Perhaps she came carrying her past as a mark of her identity, thinking and being treated as though she's nothing more than the sum of her mistakes or the sum of her victimization. And taking his sweet time, you watch. Jesus says, yes, what you've done and what you've left undone and what's been done to you and what's been left undone to you has all happened. It's true, and it's not who you are. And in that moment, suddenly the distance between how others see her and how the holy sees her disappears. Jesus may have arrived empty-handed, but you wait and see. She'll be the one leaving with something different in her pail than she ever expected. She's about to realize that what she came for was not at all what she thought she needed. What she really needed was to remember whose she was. And I wonder if any of us know what that's like. I wonder if any of us today will receive the gift that Jesus offered her that day at the well. I wonder if any of us will drop our pail of self-judgments and expectations and run to tell the others that we've found the Messiah in our hearts. I wonder.
Before I could say anything, men in striped shawls, like the strangers, joined us at the well. They evidently knew him. They didn't say a word, but there was no mistaking their surprise in finding him talking to a Samaritan woman in public. Their gaze was fixed on me. I lost my appetite to speak further. The looks on their faces reminded me of the religious. These were the kind of men I knew only too well. Their piety was much like my veil. While it covered some things, it hardly hid anything. They could not conceal their disdain for me. The stranger offered no explanation for his behavior. Instead, he took the awkward silence as opportunity to drink from the cup I had placed at his side. I got ready to leave with a million things running through my head. I'd spent my life searching in all the wrong places. What he gave me there that afternoon at the well sent me with my jug into the corridors of the town. This time, though, I wasn't searching for companionship. I was searching for those who were as desperate for water as I had been. This is the witness of God's people.